PJ here from the editing room, and I just want to let you know that after this conversation that I had with Roberto, really interesting conversation about Loner and his journey as to how he got to creating it and all its multitude of supplements, or in fact standalone games. And I just want to let you know that I am doing a giveaway of some of those games over on the Patreon for free. You can head over to Patreon/solo roleplayers and you can check out the pinned post there, which is this month's giveaway. I'm giving away 6 of the books there. All you have to do is sign up as a free member, click on the link and just go in the draw, or the roll as it were, and you will have a chance to win one of these Loner games. The idea is that the first winner is going to get the first choice, and then so on and so forth. So go and check that out at Patreon/solo roleplayers if you want to go in the draw. Entries will be closing on the 6th of March, and I'm going to announce the winners on the 7th, or at least that is the plan, should life not get in the way. So go and check that out if you want to have a chance to win one of these fantastic, modern classic solo role-playing games. Hello and welcome to the Solo Roleplayers podcast. I am your host PJ, and today on the show I am thrilled to bring you another solo RPG creator. And I've just forgotten the pronunciation of your last name that you told me to do, Roberto
Bisceglie.
Roberto Bisceglie. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I reached out to you to talk about your wonderful game, well, now game series, Loner. But before we do that, I always like to start out just by hearing people's stories as to how they discovered role-playing in the first place. So, Roberto, what is your story?
My story is back from middle school, okay? I had this friend of mine that was passionate about some action movies like Jurassic Park and Aliens, and he made some impromptu role-playing game without dice, and we rolled the charters of those films, and it was very nice. It was very fun way to have some, a break at school. And then I made a break for some years, and at the university we played Dungeons and Dragons. You guess what?
Yeah.
We played 3rd edition back then. It was early 2000s, and we played it very not by the book, okay?
Yeah, sure.
We took some rules, we made some house rules. It was very chill, okay?
Yeah.
And we played for some 5 years, okay? Until my group decided to play something else that was software, but I was not interested to shoot.
What was the game?
Software is a real board game simulation. You go to the woods and shoot some rubber bullets each other. It's not very my cup of tea.
Yeah, okay.
And the group disbanded, and I never played again until 2020, because back then I established my work, my family, and I hadn't so much time to play back then until 2020, and much time to spare.
Yeah, and Italy was very strict as well, wasn't it? During the lockdown,
very, very strict. In Italy, we couldn't leave home for 4 months straight, but it was fine. And I decided to make a session for my friends, for my real life friends. And because before the pandemics, we played a game, a board game. It is called Legends of Andor, if you know that.
I do.
And we were not able to play it on a webcam. And so I propose, why not we play some role-playing game? I can make the map, on a Roll20, and we can play. It was the first time I ever played as a GM, okay? And it went fine, that session. But my friends didn't want to play again with me. And so I searched for some online groups, and there were plenty of them back then during the pandemics. And I started to play with online groups, on Discord and like that. I discovered OSR games. And I discovered also my favorite game.
Ooh, what was that?
It's a Classic Traveler. I really love Classic Traveler because I a sci-fi junkie.
Yeah. Traveler comes up a lot with the guests that I interview as being one of these fundamental games, and I've never even seen it. Still, it's on my list to look at and try out. But from a good number of the guests have said that it's their favorite game or one of their favorite games.
I can appreciate that because it's very, not only procedural, that is very foundational for me. And the solo play I discovered back then in parallel with OSR games. But also because it is a perfect emergent play engine, and that it is not so common in more modern games. Especially if they had this kind of trad setting set-up like Traveler, and that was a way to discover a kind of play. It was lost during the last 14 years. It was very interesting. It was very foundational for me, for my kind a way of playing. And I know that maybe in a learner that DNA is not quite showing, but in the background it really is. Okay,
interesting.
And a solo play, as said, I discovered back during the pandemic. It was natural to me because I said my group of real life friends didn't want to play with me anymore, and I was instead very fond of this newfound way of playing, and I wanted to play a lot. Okay. And the online groups were not that welcoming, at least not at the start. So solo play was kind of a forced way to play something, okay, to experiment something. And my first very solo game was White Box. That is very classic, classic D&D, and that's also important for my formation in the solo RPG, because I learned a lot playing that. But we can in depth later if you want, if you have any question about this first answer I give you.
Yeah, in fact, I want to dive into that right now. I'm really interested to hear how that first or first few solo sessions with Whitebox was, if you remember.
Oh, I remember because it's quite impressed in my brain. So I was playing this halfling thief, okay, not a party, and that was a very important leader for the development of Loner. I don't like very much to play a full party. And that's difficult to in OSR games because they are tuned for 4-5 charters, okay? Yeah. But back then I discovered this supplement by Kevin Crawford that is Blackstream Solo Heroes that makes you able to tune the difficulty for 1 or 2 charter at most, and it is very, very useful. And so I had my copy of Whitebox. I had my copy of Solo Heroes, and a simple oracle, the classic oracle with the 1d6. You know, the same results you have still in Loner. That is a 6 is a yes and 1 is no and everything in within that. And I played this halfling. This halfling goes to this simple dungeon, and in the first room he encounters this dwarf. Okay. This dwarf is an encounter, okay? It's like a monster in the language of D&D. But this is the very difference with modern D&D. You have the reaction of your encounter, okay?
Yeah.
A monster is not hostile until you don't roll for that, okay?
Yeah.
And my dwarf was very friendly, indeed. And so I played this back and forth like in my head. I don't like to write down anything or very little in my play, but I played this dialogue in my head. I used the oracle to have some answer from the dwarf. And the dwarf joined my halfling, and that was unexpected. Okay, it is the basics of emergent play. I didn't know what expecting from the dungeon when I dive into it, but it was oh wow, I encountered this dwarf. I didn't know what reaction could have with my character, and then wow, it's joining me. I was baffled. Okay,
that is fantastic.
It was the most fantastic experience I ever had, because until then I played as a player with another GM, and it was very classic. No, it has a plot. Everything was directed by him, and I never played like that. Emergent play. It was not something I was used to. And that was the moment I understand that emergent play, it was my cup of tea, my favorite way of playing RPGs.
Absolutely.
And Loner starts from here.
That is just fantastic. I mean, it's just wonderful to hear. I mean, we all have, all our solo players, we have similar experiences, right? You don't know what this thing is until you try it, and then you have some magical moment, you know, whether that is more often than not that emergent style play. And then for you, you know, like you don't go, it feels completely different to making 2 or 4 characters at the beginning of a game and then starting. Now you're happy to have this dwarf along with you because he makes sense in the world and in your story, and there is you have a story as to how you found him that is not just writing up a backstory. That it's really, really, really awesome to hear. I love stories like that.
Me too. And the next step was Learner,
Yeah.
but Learner it didn't come from the thin air. Okay, I had this kind of one-page sheet. It contains a cheat sheet to play Free for Universal by Nathan Russell. I really like that game. And also some procedures from Mythic GME, okay? And that it was that kind of cheat sheet. It was quite common to find back then on the internet. And I downloaded it, I print it, and I never play actually. It's and that's because I'm very fond of Mythic. It was a revolutionary when it was published, but I found that Mythic is too crunchy for me. When I play with Mythic, the flow of my play is interrupted continually to roll on tables, find what is the interruption in the scenes, and it is not my way of play. I need more flow. But the idea of that cheat sheet, it was very good. I needed a way to play something like that, but more streamlined. And that was the core of Loner. I had also back then made hack of Solum. It is a one-page game by Matt Jackson, and it is very fun as a game. I don't know if you have ever encountered it.
No, I haven't.
No. Okay, it's on HIO, Solum with the one instead of the L.
Okay.
If you wanted to search it. And I made this hack. I call it Solum Enhanced. And what I added to the core game was the management of the scene, the twist. And that is important because I took that table and I transposed it in Loner as it was. Okay, it's the same table. I really like Solum and its general setup. But I don't like it because that much because it is stat based, okay? And during play, I don't want to think what my encounter has in terms of numerical stats.
Yeah.
I need a way to think it narratively, okay, fictionally, and that was when Freeform Universal returned in my mind because that's it. Freeform Universal is someone calls it like a very light Fate type of game. In a way, it is, but is also very much flexible than Fate itself. All you have, like in Loner, your characters is defined by tags, qualitative tags, descriptive tags, okay? And the text tells you how much dice you throw, you roll. But the difference is that Freeform Universal is based on a dice pool, and the dice pool can be quite expensive. You can roll up to 6-10 dices. And what I was searching was something I couldn't play on train, on the lunch break, with very very little space, and so there was this oracle. It was published recently back then. It is called Recluse, and the main feature of Recluse, it is all you roll are 2 dices. You see the thread here. I made my Frankenstein. I took Freeform Universal to make Charter with tags. I took Recluse for the main engine. 2 dices, one of one color and one of another, and you confront them, and you have the final result. And this scene manager, the twist counter, as I call it, I made from another game. Okay, I made it all in one, and that was Loner. It was my personal Frankenstein to play solo games the way I like. Nothing more, nothing less. And it was possible because all of the components I took, there were all in the open license. There are all in the Creative Commons license, and it is the most useful way to share with community something you make, and that's the very reason all I publish, learn, but not only that. They are all in the public, in the open license, like Creative Commons. It is very important to me.
Yeah, because our community is such a wonderful, giving and growing community. I completely agree. Really important to share with that. What were your expectations? Like you sound like you were sort of making Loner for yourself, which is, the reason I make everything I make as well, and then it ends up going out into the world. Did you have any expectations about what other people would think about it?
No. The fact is, I made it. Okay, and I was quite happy with it. Okay, and so I thought, okay, I have it, I play it, it works for me. Why not to share it? The first edition of Loner, it was a free-to-play game. Okay, I made a very quick layout. Okay, and I published it on itch.io and Drive-Thru RPG. And I hadn't any expectation. Okay, something like maybe 50 or more games are published every day on the platform. So.
Yeah,
and to think that your very game it can be viewed by someone, it's against the odds. Okay.
Yeah.
In reality, I was baffled when I saw that 1,000 of people downloaded Loner like in 1 month from the publication, but I hadn't any plan for the game. I was happy like that. The second edition, it comes from another serendipity moment that has nothing to do with expectation plans, business plans. Absolutely not. Okay. The story is it was 1 year and a half later. Okay, I published the first edition of Loner like in September to 2021. Okay, And on January 2023, okay, I was in this kind of Telegram group, because in Italy Telegram is like the preferred platform to communicate in the RPG sphere. Okay, and I am in like a half dozen of groups, chat rooms. And I was in these chat rooms. In this chat room, in this group, we didn't talk about solo role-playing game back then, until someone asked me, "But you published a solo game like last year?" Yes, I published Loner. Why don't you translate it back in Italian? And I I answered quite honestly, because I don't think anyone is interested in here in Italy. And I was honest about that. I didn't think that there was, you know, a potential public for that game.
Yeah.
And there were these 3-4 people interested in, and I said, okay, I translate it. It's not a problem for me. Loner back then was like 10 pages. It's not like that complicated work to do. And when I was translating it, they were continually asking me for clarifications, okay? Or for examples, the first edition didn't contain. So I was starting to have this kind of advanced draft. It was not like the first edition. It was like a 1.5 version of the game, and I was continually adding stuff because I was answering their questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And like naturally, the second edition took shape. But it was not planned, okay?
Yeah.
And at the end, I had this new draft. I said, it's good. It's good. It's clarifying some points. It were very, not clear in the original.
Yeah, it's a natural evolution and refinement.
It's natural. Because it came from the feedback of users, and that was that I hadn't in the first place, because as I said, 1,000 of downloads, but very, very few feedbacks about the game itself. Okay, it was gold to have these feedbacks. And the new draft was in Italian, because it started like a translation, and then it evolved in the translated language. And so I had a second edition, but in Italian. That it was, in reality, the first Italian edition. And I know it's confusing. And I thought, maybe I can translate back in English, because why not to publish a second edition? And I made it. Even back then, I thought that was, okay, I have a second edition. I published it, and I, for free, or to be precise, pay what you want, but I was not that interested to make a business out of it. Yeah. And that the new translation, the second edition, was very well received. And I didn't expect that. No, absolutely.
Yeah. Was the second edition where you released a print version as well? Or the opportunity for a print version? Yeah.
Yes, because from, in between the first and the second edition, I started to publish a number of free games for the Italian community. I am a member of a translation group. We translated, some OSR games like White Box Cairn and a number of games we like and we wanted to share with the Italian public that is not very used to read and speak English. And it makes sense to make these translations, and it makes sense to make it for free, to make it accessible to the Italian public.
Yeah.
So I have matured this kind of know-how to publish on Lulu, on Amazon.com, and so it was natural to make a hard copy edition of Loner. And I made it.
Yeah. It was this around the second edition. Now, when was this then in English? Was this already 24 or 2023 now?
It was 2023. Okay. Like around spring. Okay. And only in that moment I thought about expanded the actual framework in a ecosystem. Okay.
Yeah.
Back then, I thought that the core game it was self-contained, It was sufficient to play, enough to play, but they were asking me for some, plug-in. I wanted to play some fantasy with it. How can I? I wanted to play Cyberpunk because Cyberpunk is my favorite genre, and I wanted to play, a Netrunner. How can I? And I started to think, and that is interesting because the model for me was the GURPS splat books.
Yeah.
But I don't really like GURPS as a system. It is too wet crunchy for me.
Yeah.
But I really like all that genre books they publish since the 80s.
Yeah.
I have an extensive collection of that kind of splat books. I really like it. I think that they are very useful also if you don't play GURPS itself. Because they have plenty of information. That was the model I had in mind to give players not very much, because back then I was thinking in terms of adventure packs that I published in the Loner Complete second edition. 20 pages, some adventure hooks, some PNGs, and some factions, and like a half page telling you what is the implied setting. Okay, not very much, but enough to ignite your play.
Exactly.
That was what I was thinking back then. And I make 12 of them, and I publish back it in the complete. Okay, and that was in my mind what Loner could be at most.
So you just started coming up with these other genres to fit into Loner, and then you just kept rolling with that. I mean, I have in front of me the Omnibus, the Adventure Anthology, Paranormal Files, Steel and Sorcery, Dungeoneer. I have the space one somewhere on another desk, and that's not even all of them, right?
No, because when I was thinking of a second series of adventure packs, okay, I had these 12 adventure packs that covered the main genres you can think of: fantasy, science fiction, action adventure, spy, cyberpunk, and so on and so forth. There are 12 of them. And then I was thinking a second series, steampunk, other genres, okay?
Yeah.
And when I was designing the first ones, I think was a steampunk, okay? The steampunk adventure pack, it went out of hand. I didn't play it to. I didn't plan back then to make a whole volume. Okay, it was meant to be 20 pages to be collected with the other 11 adventure packs. It makes a second volume of adventure packs. Okay, it was not planned to be a 100 pages volume. But you know what is the creative process is unpredictable.
Yes,
And so the steampunk adventure pack evolved naturally into a full-fledged game, and I called that series the Gear Towards Learner games. And every Gear Towards Learner game is a standalone volume with a complete setting, all the table you can think of to play in that setting, and all also what I call the genre rules, because I think of them like advices, not prescriptions. Okay, and that's the spirit. I write all the Gear Toward Learners games. They are a way to interpret the Oracle, because, and that's important, in the series, the base is the Oracle. It's all the resolution is the core resolution. I am not adding anything that is not moved by the Oracle. Okay.
Yep.
So every genre rules itself is simply a way to interpret the Oracle in that genre.
Yep.
It is very important. This I never add any mechanics that is not a Oracle-based mechanic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Fascinating.
And every splat book or supplement I publish in the Learner line, they are all genres or settings I want to play.
Yeah.
There's nothing I wrote in the last 3 years now is made by commission, or I took suggestions, that is quite normal, but it is always filtered through my eyes, my way of seeing that. Okay.
Yeah.
And it is not always a payoff, because I know, in example, one of my favorites in games in the line is Mecha Requiem. That is Mecha, okay?
Yeah.
Mechs in the future. Nowadays, mechs are very tied to the kaiju, like Pacific Rim. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't like that angle of the genre, but I'm very fond of BattleTech, and that is the lens I see through. For the genre. So Mech Requiem, it is a BattleTech-like game, if you want.
Yeah.
And it didn't pay off that much. It is not very liked from the public.
Yeah.
Okay. And so every game, it's like a roulette for me. I don't know when I design a game if it will be well received or not.
Yeah, but I think that's I think that's always a good approach to have, right? You should, and I've had this thought and experience a lot with various creative endeavors in the past, but as long as you're making the thing that you want, then you're doing the right thing, as far as I can tell, right? I mean, as soon as you start trying to make someone for someone else, you start trying to write a hit song, then you're in a different sort of realm, you know.
I can totally agree.
I'm very curious to know, what does your solo play look like today? Are you always now just designing and playing in this loner world, or do you still play some of your older favorites and that kind of thing?
I play both in reality. I need to play the game I design because playtests it's mandatory for a designer.
Yeah.
I can publish something I didn't play in the first place, and I don't design only loner because I have 2-3 frameworks that are not mine that I really like. 24xx is one of them, and the other is Breathless from Fairy Games. And so I design a lot of games in those frameworks. Generally, I remake some games I could potentially like, but I don't like the mechanics attached to them. Okay, so I remaking them in a system I can appreciate.
Do you just hack into the systems that you like?
Yes, that's my main drive in designing games.
Roberto, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. And I want to ask you, do you have any upcoming projects that you want to, or that you can talk about?
Oh, okay.
Are you working on anything?
I work on a number of other learner supplements. Okay.
No surprises there.
I know, and if you go on the Substack, I announced the schedule for the current year. It's quite packed.
Yep.
But also I am working on a number of indie games I will publish for free on my itch.io. Itch.io is where I publish my free games, where the paid ones are on drive-through. I made this choice to differentiate the platforms, and I'm working on a very interesting, if I can say it, duet game inspired by Edgar Allan Poe. It is called Evermore, and I can't wait to share it with the community, and it will be published for free.
That is absolutely fantastic. I will put links to your Substack, where you have lots of news and information on, in the show notes. I'll also link to, of course, your website and the Loner games and those other games and supplements that you've talked about today. Thank you so much for being on the show today. I really look forward to digging more into this fantastic series that you've created.
Thank you for having me.